Okay, good morning students. Today we are going to discuss the topic is ANS. ANS means Autonomic Nervous System. Surely Autonomic Nervous System. So number one is the what is CNS, okay, na? Central Nervous System, and PNS means Peripheral Nervous System, and third one is the ANS means Autonomic Nervous System. So Autonomic Nervous System means sympathetic neurons and parasympathetic neurons, both together called as ANS. Okay, so how it regulates to the function of ANS, it connect to the what here without conscious conditions. They are regulating here. They are what here connecting to the heart and digestive system and various parts. Okay, so sympathetic neurons and parasympathetic neurons are doing more functions with the help of what here ANS, Autonomic Nervous System. So first of all, we will discuss about that what is sympathetic neuron. So sympathetic neurons are originating from, it is called what here, it is the brain. Okay, so this is the brain. This region is called a thoracic region. Okay, it is called as a skull. From skull to the extending part, brain is the forebrain, midbrain and hindbrain. So this is the medulla oblongata. From medulla oblongata to the spinal cord is extending here. So from this is called what here skull. So skull region, below the region what here deepest part is, it is called what here medulla oblongata to the extending region is called as a what here vertebral column. Now this is called a thoracic region. Okay, thoracic region, and what here next region is called as a lumbar region. So thoracic region and lumbar region, it is connecting part. So that's why it is called as a thoracico-lumbar outflow. Thoracico-lumbar outflow. Okay. So outflow means it is what here sending to the signals to the motor neurons. So that's why we are called as a thoracico-lumbar outflow. And now next what here, this is called as a spinal cord. It is called spinal cord. Now here ganglias are present here. So the ganglias are the, how it looks like means it looks like a chain-like structure. It looks like a chain-like structures. The ganglias are the chain-like structures now. Now next one is the preganglionic neurons and postganglionic neurons are present here, where end to the terminal region the synapse is forming. Okay, from synapse to the next stage signals are jumping here. So terminal end is there into the postganglionic neurons. So preganglionic neurons are the shorter neurons and postganglionic neurons are the longer neurons are present here into the sympathetic neurons. Okay, and next one is the what here adrenergic. It is called as adrenergic neurons. Okay, why it is called as adrenergic means so it is releasing into the norepinephrine. Okay, norepinephrine is called as a noradrenaline. So noradrenaline and adrenaline both are releasing from where? It is releasing from adrenal gland. We know about the adrenal gland. Okay, adrenal cortex and adrenal medulla. So norepinephrine is releasing here into the what here postganglionic neurons, terminal end of the postganglionic neurons. Now what here in between the gap is there, the gap is called as synapse. Now the signals are jumping here, okay, to the that terminal end region. Okay, so that's why it is called as a adrenergic neurons. Okay, adrenergic, it is called as adrenergic neurons. And next one is the what here, it is sympathetic neurons are active. When it is active during stressful conditions. During stressful conditions, the sympathetic neurons are active, and it is the sympathetic neurons overall effect is the excitatory, okay, and what here stimulatory, excitatory and stimulatory. That is the overall effect of that what here sympathetic neurons. Okay, now this is called as a sympathetic neuron. Okay, sympathetic structure. Now it is called what here spinal cord. Now what here sympathetic neurons are what here it is present, it is extending from below the skull region to the pelvis. Okay, and axon terminal ends like like the what here, this is what here, chain like structure is formed here, sympathetic neurons. Now, how it is innervates to the visual organs, how it is innervate, okay. See, this is the skull region, these all are called what here, neurons or the ganglia. Now, first region, two neurons are going here. One neuron is going into the eye, and the next one is the lacrimal glands. Okay, and the second, this is the what here, it is now going into the where innervated to the air passages and heartbeat. Okay, heart. And next one is the celiac ganglia are there. Okay, celiac ganglia. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, here 1, 2, 3 ganglia. Both are together forming here one region. So where it is forming or connecting here, that is called as a celiac ganglion. Okay, the celiac ganglion is now extending into the liver and kidneys. Okay, and next one is the what here, anterior mesenteric ganglia are there. Okay, so the anterior mesenteric ganglia are now innervated to the digestive system. And next one is the what here, posterior mesenteric ganglia are there, where it is present into the posterior or the abdominal region. Okay. So now it is innervated to the one neuron is innervated to the digestive system, okay, and one neuron is innervated to the where urinogenital system, okay. So likewise, what here, this is the what here, sympathetic neuron. So each and every what here neurons are innervated to the all parts of the body. Now, last end region it contains these all what here, terminal end region it contains a collateral ganglia. These are called as a collateral ganglia. Okay, so this is what here sympathetic neuron. And next one is the what here, parasympathetic neuron. Parasympathetic neuron, it is present where? Parasympathetic neuron is present here into the cranial region and sacral region. Cranium part and where it is extending into the sacral region. Okay, so that's why this is called parasympathetic neurons or the nervous system is called as a craniosacral outflow. Okay, so cranial region and it is extending up to what is sacral part of the body. Okay, that's why it is called as a craniosacral outflow. Okay, and next one is this is the parasympathetic neuron. Here ganglia are not chain-like structures, so the ganglia are isolated. Okay, ganglia are isolated into the parasympathetic nervous system. Okay, and here preganglionic neurons are longer. Preganglionic neurons are longer and postganglionic neurons are shorter into that parasympathetic nervous system. Okay, and next one is the here it is what here. It is releasing into the what here, cholinergic neuron. It is called as a cholinergic neuron. Why it is called as a cholinergic neuron? It is releasing into the ACH. ACH means acetylcholine. Acetylcholine here where it is present. Here it is present into the synaptic node to the what here, postsynaptic neuron, or that is called as synapse. From one neuron to another neuron, synaptic end bulb. Okay, terminal end bulb like structures are forming. So that is called as synaptic node. Synaptic node, it contains synaptic vesicles. Okay, now it is jumping to the next neuron when ACH, acetylcholine, is releasing here. That's why when ACH is releasing, the parasympathetic neuron is here. It is called what here? Cholinergic neurons are present here into the parasympathetic neurons. Okay, now here it is active during relaxation time. Parasympathetic neurons are active during relaxation time, and this is overall effect is the what here, inhibitory. The overall effect is inhibitory parasympathetic neuron. Okay, so likewise what here parasympathetic nervous system is working. Now cranial region and it is extending into the up to sacral region. That's why craniosacral outflow it is called. Now this is called what here, skull. Okay, and now 7th neuron and 9th neuron and 10th neuron. Okay, 7th cranial nerve, 9th cranial nerve and 10th cranial nerve. Okay, so this is the 7th, okay, 9th and 10th. Okay, 7th is now extending here into the lacrimal glands. Okay, and next one is the salivary glands. So lacrimal glands where it is connecting here into the submandibular ganglions. Okay, above the region first nerve, that is called as a third cranial nerve is forming. So third cranial nerve is now innervated to the eyes. Innervated to the eyes or connecting to the eyes. Which neuron? Parasympathetic neurons. Okay. So here it contains ciliary ganglia and third cranial nerve is the pterygopalatine neuron. It is innervated to the eyes, okay, and submandibular ganglion, okay, it is innervated to the lacrimal glands, and remaining otic ganglia are there. Which ganglia? Otic ganglia are there. Now it is innervated to the where? Salivary glands, secretion of the saliva. Okay, so likewise 7th, 9th, 10th neurons are extending from where? It is extending from parasympathetic neuron. From cranial part, it is extending region. And next, it is the largest and longest neuron. So that is called as a 10th nerve. 10th nerve is called as a vagus nerve. It is the largest nerve or the largest neuron. Okay, now it is doing in different parts and it is forming as a plexus-like structures. Okay, so number 1 here, neuron, that is what here, it is connecting into the air passages. And next 10th vagus nerve, one of the neuron is it connects to the heartbeat, that is the involuntary muscles. Rhythmic contractions and rhythmic relaxations continuously going on. The heartbeat is continuously going on likewise. So with the help of ANS, with the help of what here? Parasympathetic neuron. Okay, so that is the heart. And next one is the innervated to the liver, it is connecting to the liver. And next one is it is reaching into the kidney. Okay, parasympathetic neuron. And next one, the parasympathetic neuron is connecting to the digestive system. Which system? Digestive system. So this is the digestive system. So which neuron is innervated or which neuron is connecting here means it is connecting into the only 10th neuron. 10th is the vagus nerve. Vagus nerve is connecting into the air passages, heart and liver, kidney and digestive system. Okay, so this is called as isolated. It is not a chain-like structure. But here it is a chain-like structure. It is a chain-like structure. It is isolated. 10th is the vagus nerve. Okay. And last abdominal region of the parasympathetic neuron, it contains sacral nerve. That is the second sacral and third sacral and fourth sacral nerve are there. Second, third, fourth sacral nerves, these are okay. These are connecting into the urinogenital system. Which system? Urinogenital system. So these neurons, postganglionic neurons, okay, of the abdominal region, okay. So this is connecting into the urinogenital system. So likewise, what is parasympathetic neuron is working. Okay, here preganglionic neurons are longer and postganglionic neurons are shorter. Okay, in parasympathetic. Here, preganglionic neurons are shorter and postganglionic neurons are longer into the sympathetic neurons. Okay, so this is the sympathetic neuron and parasympathetic neuron. And next one, how it works to the different organs. Okay, dependent upon to the sympathetic and parasympathetic of ANS, how it works to the different organs. Organs are there. Okay, so number 1 is the eye. These are called eye. Okay, so eye is connecting region. What here? The ciliary ganglia, that is called third cranial nerve is connecting here. So what is sympathetic neuron? If you see the sympathetic neuron, okay, eye, pupil of the eye is that it dilates to the pupil of eye. Okay, and parasympathetic, what here? It constricts. Difference between the sympathetic and parasympathetic here. And next one is the heart. Okay, heart, the pulse rate is increasing the force of contraction into the sympathetic neuron. And parasympathetic neuron, what here? Slow down to the contraction of the heartbeat. Okay, so it is not complete slowdown, but it is somewhat. But what here? Rate of force contraction is increasing into the sympathetic and parasympathetic is somewhat slowed down. Okay, and next one is the sympathetic. If you see the blood vessels, sympathetic neuron, blood vessels are constrict. When it constricts, blood vessels are narrowing. Which time? During winter season. Okay, and then What is parasympathetic neuron? With the help of sympathetic parasympathetic neuron, it dilates. Contraction, dilates means relaxation. Okay, now they are coming their original position like. Okay, and digestive system in sympathetic neuron, it inhibits to the peristalsis. Sympathetic neuron, it inhibits to the peristalsis. Okay, and parasympathetic is the stimulate to the peristalsis. Okay, and next one is the salivary glands are there, inhibits to the saliva, the sympathetic neuron, and parasympathetic neuron stimulate to the saliva, the secretion of the saliva with the help of parasympathetic. Okay, and next one is the pancreas. Okay, pancreas is the inhibitory activity of sympathetic and stimulate activity of what here? Parasympathetic. And next one is the lungs. Okay, lungs are relaxation bronchi in sympathetic nervous system, and the parasympathetic is the contraction of the bronchi. Okay, and kidneys are there in sympathetic nervous system. If you see here, that is what here increase the what here secretion of renin in kidney. Renin is a kidney protein. Okay, it increase the secretion of renin in sympathetic nervous system. Okay, and parasympathetic nervous system, what here? It decrease to the secretion. And next one is the urinary bladder in sympathetic nervous system. What here? It inhibits to the what here? It inhibits to the what here? It inhibits to the secretion of urinary bladder. Okay, na? And inhibits means nirodhinchadam. Okay, and next one is the PNS. What here? Parasympathetic neuron. It promotes to the urinary bladder. Okay, urine is fulfilling into the urinary bladder. The urine is passing from where it is collecting duct, from nephron to the collecting duct to the urinary bladder. Okay, through the urethra, the urine is passing outside. Urinary bladder is connecting which neurons? Sympathetic neurons and parasympathetic neurons. Okay, so this is the what here mechanism of sympathetic nervous system and parasympathetic nervous system. Okay, so this is called what here? ANS. ANS. Okay, ANS means what? Autonomic nervous system. Okay, thank you. Thank you once again. Please subscribe. Thank you once again.